Hello, this is Malorian, and this will now be a 2,500 point game of my Wood Elves against some Warriors of Chaos. So, my buddy posted up that he wanted to play a game. He plays a very competitive Empire army, and so I took it up looking to test my competitive Wood Elves here, and it turned out this is going to be now with his brand new Warriors of Chaos. So, it'll be really interesting. My Weight Watchers will not be taking out those war machines, that's for sure. I'm not used to having ones that bite me back. But anyway, we got Battle for the Pass. Really, the only terrain that really matters is that thing in the center is that magical vortex thing's going to be blasting with magic every single turn. And really, all that's going to do is kill one dog one turn. So, for the most part, no magical terrain really played a part. As I said, it was Battle for the Pass. On my opponent's side, everything will be the Mark of Tzinch. On the back there, he has the two Hell Cannons. He has a big unit of 10 Knights. He has 2 units of Dogs. On the right, he has a good-sized unit of about 15 Warriors. On the left, about 20 Warriors. And behind them is also his Demon Prince. So between him being a level 4 and blasting with magic, the other thing that's going to be scary is that his BSB in the left unit has the one totem where if I have line of sight to it, I'm -1 leadership. So of course this has synergies with his Hell Cannons where I'm going to be having a lot of leadership tests. On my side, it's kind of hard to tell from these pictures because all my units of 10 at this point were all spread out to try and help me with those Hell Cannons. But anyways, from right to left, I got 10 Glade Guard. How about I just say it in general? I got 4 units of 10 Glade Guard, 3 units of 5 Glade Riders, 3 units of 10 Glade Riders that have Banner and Musician. I have my 3 Warhawks, I have an Eagle, which is the old cockatrice there, and then I of course have my level 4 Prophetess, and I also have my Noble that has the Hail of Doom. So anyway, looking at this game, obviously my targets are going to be the Dogs. If I can take out that Demon Prince right away, he's going to be a huge target because then I can be winning the whole battle for, if I can take away all those range attacks, that's fantastic. I do not think I could take out his Hell Cannons, but if once those other threats are gone, maybe then I can really focus on one of his warrior units, and most likely it'll be the left one, just because I had to mass on this side anyway to be taking out the Demon Prince. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, so he gets first turn. He moves up, as you see here. Already he's going to fail the leadership on his left Hell Cannon. I'll just tell you right now, he fails a leadership for a Hell Cannon every single turn. It was nuts. So, that's going to help tons. Otherwise, his magic phase, complete crap. He rolled a 2 and a 1, so I was able to shut him down. And yeah, I got past this one pretty easy. The only thing that was pretty bad is that the Hell Cannon that could shoot went and landed on my Weight Watchers, killing 2 of them, one from another unit of the 5 Glade Riders. And of course, this is where the panic tests start. They fail, both run back. They run through another unit, my Prophetess's big unit, and luckily they pass. My first turn then, obviously no charges. There'll be no charges this whole game, but my 2 units rally. I'm in general moving up. I have the 1 unit that's inside the bottom building there, and really what I get accomplished this turn is that my shooting wipes out the Dogs, so little fast points there. All my shooting, including my Hail of Doom arrow, go into the Demon Prince, and I do 1 wound. It was really crappy. I thought that I had a good chance of taking him down already this first turn, but I just didn't roll enough wounds on him, and he made enough of his saves. So that was a little bit disappointing. Otherwise, I have a few little traps here. For one, I have my cockatrice that's there to block the knights, and then of course if he charges me, he's going to run into that impassable little magical thing there. And then I have my Warhawks, which are trying to send his warriors on the right side towards the building, which would allow my Glade Guard to run around, but we'll see what happens. His turn 2, I thought this was kind of interesting, so he does fall for the cockatrice thing. He pretty much had to do it anyway, but he charges me, I flee, I hop over, he gets stuck there, and then his Hell Cannon, same one, fails again. We got this little, parade here going down. And then his other Hell Cannon has a misfire, and the one that is the one that all wizards have a miscast. So I thought this was fantastic because I got thrown a vines off in my first turn there, but I failed my 2+ due to the small template to myself. Of course, that was horrible positioning from the way I went. And basically, just so you know, I've now gone back to just going with the 2 ranks, just because with me having going back and forth on the side of the table, and with this, realm of battle, whatever this GW produced table, it's so slippery, I didn't want to deal with it. So everything was bunched up, lost a good amount of guys, but luckily the panic tests were passed, and then his Demon Prince took a wound as well, so that's something. Otherwise, on his turn 2, you can see that his warriors first charged my eagles. They fled. One of them tripped up in the building there. That caused a panic test on the guys inside the building, something I didn't really think of because I thought that they basically didn't run through the building. They touched and jumped to the other side. We rolled it off, and I did have to take the test, which I failed. Otherwise, then he went and redirected into the Glade Guard, which I just kind of took, threw some shots, didn't think I did anything. Meanwhile, his magic again, he rolled a 2 and a 1. I was able to shut it down again, so he's getting nothing done with his magic. And he also did some charging with his other warriors, which I fled and got away. So at this point, it's not looking so bad, and hopefully now I can retaliate pretty well. And now this here was huge, and one of the things I actually really love about playing this opponent is, as much of a veteran player I am, this guy knows his rules completely. You think the guy's a lawyer or something. He just knows every single little rule. And it seems like every single time I play him, I learn something new that I didn't know was in the rule set. And in this case here, I dwellered his unit, got Irresistible Force, thought this was fantastic, and then before we started rolling and stuff, he says, okay, and with my dice, I'm going to dispel your Throne of Vines. And I thought, wow, what are you talking about? But one of the things I never realized that you can dispel remains in play at any time, even mid-spell or something. So all of a sudden, I had to take a miscast. This time it was the large template, pretty much obliterated that whole unit she was in. She also died. In the unit, I killed a good amount with the Dwellers, so that was kind of nice. His BSB did not die, but wow, at least if anything, since his Demon Prince should be going down this turn, then there'll be no magic and the game will be faster. But this was a huge blow to me, and at least a lesson learned. So otherwise, you can see that pretty much everything rallied except for my Cockatrice. Was able to kill the Demon Prince, which was great. I'm starting to run around his lines, which is really good. Picking away at him at the left a little bit, and also his unit on the far right doing fairly well. And of course, I just love seeing those knights being stuck in that impassable little column in the center. So his turn 3, and really, this is really the only turn that he did not fail a leadership test with his Hell Cannon, but he still only got to shoot once because the left one there actually charged. And that's really all he got done for the most part, is that a whole bunch of charges here and just me fleeing, which of course caused a lot of panic and all that fun stuff. I did lose some points though. The 1 archers that were inside the woods, they fled and just did not run far enough, and so they got caught and were destroyed. But if nothing else, I'm starting to pull his lines apart, and hopefully I can start finding some gaps. So my turn 3, it's all about this unit here now, because, I'm not going to have enough time to bring down the knights. The other unit, probably not. And this is where a lot of points were, because this was his larger unit. And plus, it'd be fantastic if I can get to this BSB as well. So lots of shooting into here. You can see that they're pretty far down, so that's good news. His turn 4, now his knights are causing me a problem. And really, they scored a good amount of points this turn, because even though I was able to get away from anything else, I had those Way Watchers there that they were able to swing around and go after. And this actually turned out to be probably not so bad, because since I didn't run very far, he didn't get to redirect into something else. And then when he caught them, he also didn't get to overrun into something else. So that's a good chunk of points down the drain, but again, at least now I could see that behind those 2 units, there's now a big window and a good spot for me to hide. So, losing points, but at least the battlefield's opening up. So my side, this is where I was really hoping that this would be the turn that I'd be able to wipe them out and all that good stuff. And if you notice, he lost nothing. This is finally the turn that I did nothing to him with all these shots, so that was pretty disappointing. So his turn 5 then, more charging, more failing. My free little woods there killed a few of his knights. That was always cool. And pretty much his other unit of warriors is now trying to make a beeline to the rest of them. And they're just trying to basically castle up like dwarves around those woods. My turn 5, again, just shooting the unit, just trying to get these points. Because I know if I don't get this unit, I have no chance even of a tie. And I go one guy short. So, a little bit frustrating, but just got to keep picking away. His turn 6, this is kind of bad, bad luck and me not understanding the rules. Last turn, my Warhawk riders failed their march test and really had nothing they could do, so I just flew them behind the one Hell Cannon here, just to keep them safe. And then, of course, he failed his Leadership 9 test, and I thought that they moved forward, but turns out it's a random direction towards the closest unit. So, boom, goes into my Warhawks and another unit down. And so really, all this is about is that he moves over his knights to be more of a block. He moves over his other warriors. The BSB abandons the single warrior to go be safe with them. That single warrior is now just hiding inside that forest there. And, you know, turn after turn, his Hell Cannons have been really disappointing to him. They've been either, you know, failing their leadership checks or misfiring or scattering. I mean, doing very little. I mean, if anything, they kill a few from a unit, I'll have some failed panic tests, and then I'll rally later. No big deal, right? But finally, this turn is where they really pay off. They hit the one unit that had my noble, killing my noble, panicking the unit off the board, and that's a ton of points for him. And then, of course, my turn 6 is just about getting these points, so I just shoot down this one guy, and that's pretty much it. So the game was now over, and with me losing my Warhawks and the Noble and that big unit all at once, I thought, man, it's just over, right? There's no way I'm even close. And my buddy here wanted to add it up, and so we did. And it turned out I was only 300 points behind, which isn't really all that bad. You know, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is, man, if only that unit would have been blasted last turn, then I would have been fine. You know, either it would have been a tie with that or even go over to a win. Oh, man, especially with my stupid mistake with the Warhawks. But really, you know, I couldn't really say that's bad luck on my part because really, he was due. I mean, it was about time he scored some points. Something I can really say for my side is that I had horrible positioning in this game. I made a mention of it earlier, but I know that the way that my big units of Glade Riders should have been were more spaced out so that I would have less damage taken from these templates coming in and stuff like that, and then of course setting myself up so that whenever there were misfires, I should have had my mages on the end so that it's only affecting her and maybe 2 other models, but I never really set that up, and so I really kind of brought that on myself. Then again, I never really did expect that whole dispelling my Laurel Life thing, which, you know, of course, it never did help me at all. I mean, the first time I failed my 2+, and the second time he dispelled it, so the only good thing there is, of course, now this will be a big lesson, which I'll never forget. Another big thing from this game that I learned that never really knew before is that, of course, for his one banner there, run -1 leadership, it's if I have line of sight to it. And so at first I was going to try all these shenanigans, like turning my guys around and all this stuff, but then my opponent informed me that this is actually a pretty big misconception, something that people don't understand very well, and that actually you don't use frontal arc for line of sight. I mean, that's your charge arc and stuff, but really if you just get down and you can make a straight line from somebody's back to the banner, it still affects it. So this is something I still have to look into, but you know, again, another new thing for me to learn, and if nothing else, this was a great match, very tight, and hope you liked it. Bye.